Welcome to another episode of the Bible GPS podcast, and today we continue our stories of hope. I've got a fascinating guest here in Kathy Houchins. Kathy, so nice to have you here. Before we go into introduce Kathy, she has an amazing story about a story of hope about her health and how also faith played into that. But Kathy, please introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Kathy Houchins. I am a community leader here in Fort Walton Beach. Lived here 28 years.
And that's Florida.
And it's Florida, That is correct. And beautiful downtown Fort Walton Beach is almost on the beach. Almost, not quite, but almost. And I was married, had a son and a daughter. And I say was because I lost my husband in 2010. But I have also 5 stepchildren from him, from his previous marriage. So I am the proud mother, regardless of giving birth to them or not, of 7 beautiful children. So we're very close, and we stay very in touch with one another. And so that's pretty much it. A community leader, a past president of the Chamber of Commerce, a life director of the Chamber, past president of ABWA, which is the American Business Women's Association. I was also chairman of the board for the Tourism Development Council, served with Senator Gates on Affordable Housing Committee here in the county. There's a gazillion things I could list on, but another really proud moment was when I was named Life Director, or Life Ambassador, actually, for Eglin Air Force Base. So that's a really wonderful honor to be bestowed upon me, and I'm very excited. And my picture is on the wall to the General's office. So there's no number on it. Yeah. So at least we're in the post office either, so they're not looking for me.
So your fingerprints are all over the place.
That is correct.
You are very involved, you're still involved. But when we had a great visit together, Kathy, you shared something very significant, and it actually started in 2010.
Well, at the loss of my husband in 2010, yes, that was a tough time, but the real issue happened in 2013. Okay. When taking a general doctor's visit, an annual checkup, I was told that I had a kidney issue that I needed to see a specialist. Shocked me. I had no idea what they were talking about.
And you were actually in good health.
I felt fine. I was doing a normal annual checkup. What could be wrong? And I go in to see this nephrologist, and I was told that I had stage 3 chronic kidney disease. I had never heard of it. Didn't have a clue what they were talking about. Didn't take me long to go on Google and find out as much as I could. But I can tell you it was shocking because my diet changed dramatically. It affects your phosphorus intake, magnesium intake. It affects so much you have no idea until you have it. And it doesn't get better. You can't cure it.
Yeah.
All you can do is delay the inevitable because you're going to eventually fail. And it's what happened to me. I went from 2013 until 2019 controlling my disease with food, with my diet. Everything I ate, I had to watch it and take very good care of it because it was very demanding. I had to give up some of my favorite things like bacon, hamburgers and cheeseburgers and the things I love. I had to give all that up, mostly dairy products.
Because during that time, Kathy, did you have moments that you experienced deep darkness?
Oh, yes, I did. It was like my mother was on dialysis for 17 years and died because of it. So I knew of the repercussions of what dialysis would do, and that was my thing. I did not want to ever get on dialysis. Yeah. So I quickly went to diet. I had to do what I had to because I was not going to go through with that. Well, stress is one of the contributing factors. Controlling high blood pressure is another issue that's very, very tough on you. A bunch of other little things can add up, and all of a sudden you go from a stage 3 to a stage 4 to a stage 5 to what they call end-stage renal failure. And that's what I progressed to.
And that was in 2019.
2019, I was told I had renal failure and I needed to go on dialysis immediately.
When you got that news, Kathy, what happened inside you?
Oh, I was just mortified. I became so depressed, and didn't know how I was going to keep it up.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I thought, let me research, find out what types of dialysis there are. I didn't want to do the hemodialysis because that was what my mother did. It was horrible. It debilitates your heart, all of your organs. It just eats away. Think about it. Your blood comes out of your body and it goes into a machine. The machine cleans all the toxins, cleans the blood up, and then it comes back in.
Yeah.
What do you think is happening inside of your body when that's going on?
I can just imagine such
You're-
a shock every time for your body.
It is horribly debilitating. It actually wears you out for the day. You are done. The older you get, the harder it is. And bottom line is I decided to do what they call peritoneal, which is a dialysis which is done through the abdomen, through the peritoneal cavity in your abdomen. It's a catheter that's put in place, and you hook up to it to a machine that does the same thing, but you can do it when you're sleeping.
Yeah, yeah.
So this would enable me to continue to work, which was what I needed to do. I needed to be busy because I had gotten so depressed. I knew if I didn't do something, I was ready to die. I told a friend of mine I was done.
How was your depression? How would you describe your depression?
It was potentially, it was demoralizing. It brought me down to a depth that I don't normally live in. I'm normally a happy person and very outgoing, and I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't care about whether I got dressed, whether I took a shower, whether I slept. I didn't care whether I ate, nothing. I was done. I really was ready to be done.
So when you were in that deep darkness, did you got a feeling that you will get through it?
Well, I had a couple things happen. I believe so strongly in the power of hope, and I believe so strongly that there's a God up there that gives me direction, whether I listen or not. He's telling me, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's got to beat it in my head.
That's right.
But
he loves you.
But he does love me. I know he does. He's put up with a lot.
Yeah,
So anyway, I had a vision, a couple of visions, one being of my deceased husband, who I've seen him several times. He's come to me over the course of the last few years. And it was, you're not done. You need to keep going. You've got to finish what you've started. And I didn't know what that meant. I had no idea. And eventually I just finally said, snap out of it. I've got to snap out of it. I've got to find something. So I just started to go out walking, just getting some fresh air, just doing something. I had to do something. Because the hardest day of my life, besides learning that, was going to the company I worked for at the time to tell them I could no longer do what I'd asked them to do. I asked for that job, and they gave it to me. And I was not able to continue. I actually was working for a company here in town, a medical center, that puts on a very big party every year. It's called the Little Black Dress Party. And I went to them, I was chairman of their board, and I said, I can run this show. I can put this together and loosen up the party that's doing it now and let her do what she hired her for. And let me handle this. And so anyway, they said, sure, just write up the program. So I wrote up the executive director's position, my job description.
Wow.
I wrote it all up. They voted on it and said, go for it. So I did.
Great.
And 6 months later, I'm on dialysis, and I can't make appointments. I can't go anywhere. That was horrible.
Now it was 2019, so 4 years later, 2023, here we are, and you look so healthy. What happened?
I got a kidney transplant. That's what it takes. But a lot of things happened in between there.
Please share
So, wow, let's see. First of all, the peritoneal did not work.
Okay.
It was horrible. It was so painful. It was if it was sucking out my guts, is what I told the doctor. We did 5 surgeries, from March of 2019 until June of 2019.
5 surgeries.
5 surgeries, which were basically putting a camera in, seeing what's going on, watching it. Another one was taking the camera out and putting what they call a Canon catheter in my neck. So I had to go on hemodialysis. Then they had to take x-rays of my arms and my veins, and then they had to go in and put in what they call it's like a fistula, but it's a graft that goes in your arm to hook you up. And so anyway, it just went on. It was those kinds of things. And finally, by the end of June, I was ready to do the catheter, or do the blood hemodialysis through my arm. Yeah. And I literally cried that first day. I knew what the end result was going to be. It was going to be, that's it. This is it. I'm dying. I'm dying a slow death, is what was happening. So that was June of 2019. So my friends got together with me, came over here actually, and sat me down and said, okay, what are we going to do for you? What do you want done? And I said, I need a kidney. That's what I need. Yeah. So we were going out talking to people about different things. And by the way, Kathy needs a kidney. Pretty soon, this one beautiful young woman steps forward and says, I need more information. And she got all the information. She went to Sacred Heart in Pensacola. She did some series of tests, came back. She was a good match. Yeah. They called me, you've got a donor. She called me, said, I'm your kidney donor. Wow. I cried. That was Memorial Day of 2020. And she was murdered in August of 2020.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. That was not good.
That is so tough.
Yeah, it still touches my heart. She was amazing. And anyway, she led us on to other people who, for her, because of her brother was really good at the service of talking about her donating a kidney. He didn't even know who. I had not met him yet. So I went up to him and introduced myself, and it was a very touching moment. But anyway, her best friend said, hey, if Vicki can do it, I can do it. Yeah. So she privately went on to Sacred Heart and ran the tests. Yeah. Actually, let me take it back. I had moved from Sacred Heart because they lost their transplant surgeon. So I moved from there to Gainesville, to the Shands Hospital, University of Florida. So she went there on her own accord.
And you were unaware of that?
Unaware, did not know. And she took the test and passed and became a 4th grader, what they call a sibling match, which is like if it was a brother or sister.
So it's a very good match.
It's a phenomenal match. She's 49 years old, and she calls me on Labor Day. One was Memorial Day and one was Labor Day, and said, that was September, that I have a good match for you, and I'm your new donor. Talk about, oh my God. And it was Vicki's best friend. It was all an emotional thing. It was terribly emotional, but it was a happy emotion that kept all of the hope and the things I needed and wanted desperately were all falling into place. And so we had organized a auction, and of course COVID hit in 20. Took everything out, no meeting and gathering of people. So we decided to do an online auction. Correct. Nobody had done it. We didn't know, had no idea about money or how to raise money with COVID. Everybody's staying home. So we decided to do it. Everybody's online now, so let's do it that way. So some local friends went out and got 84 different prizes from different businesses in this community. Weekend getaways, we had earrings, we had art, we had, you name it, whatever it was, we had a bunch of stuff. And we spent 8 hours on Facebook doing a live feed and doing an auction. And we raised $38,000, so it helped offset.
all the cost.
Oh, over whatever it was going to cost me for
Yeah.
that surgery. I had no idea.
It's just amazing that your friends rallied around you.
Oh, yes.
And actually sustained that hope in you.
It was phenomenal. Without them, I would not be here talking to you, because they are the saving grace. They pushed me and said, we sat right around this counter and we talked and said, okay, I'll take care of this and I'll take care of that. And they all laid out exactly what they were going to do and handled it. And it was amazing.
I just want to go back to that first donor. You know, when you got the news that she was murdered, what happened inside you?
Oh, I was to the bottom. It was over. Yeah.
And then looking back, wasn't over.
Oh.
And your friends stepped up.
Oh, my friends came in and pushed it, said, oh no, we're not done. This is just one step along the way. You've got more to do. This didn't happen for no reason. This happened for a reason. You've got stuff to finish up, just like Ivan said, you've got to finish this up.
Yeah.
And you're not sure what it is yet. Yes. So, but I figure now I know what it is. But bottom line is, that was the most loss of hope there that I felt when I first found out about it.
Correct. You know, hope is such a strong thing in the Bible. Normally when we speak in the English language, you know, I hope something will happen. It's not certain hope. It is wishful hope. You know, I wish the traffic light will turn green. It's wishful hope. And then you have expectant hope. It's a little bit stronger. You know, the woman is expecting a baby, but it doesn't mean the baby will be there one day, because, you know, anything can happen. But the biblical hope is certain hope. And this is the hope that you have experienced.
It is, most definitely, because there came a strength that I did not know I had.
And
I had
that's
no
from
idea.
God.
It is, totally. And there's another story of another proof of that. When that was, she told me Labor Day of 2020. And so I went on, I was going to not Sacred Heart, but to Shands and doing tests, and they found out there were a couple more things I needed to do and she had to do. And we're lining everything up and looking for places to stay and all that. And one day I wake up with a major chest pain, 3 o'clock in the morning, didn't know what's going on. But I couldn't breathe. It was getting worse and worse and worse. And my daughter got up who lives with me, and got up at about 8:30, and I said, Brenda, call 911, get an ambulance here. I'll never be able to walk out of here. I'm in so much pain, I need to get help. Wow. So she called, and they could not bring the gurney into this house through the door, so they had to come and carry me out. Yeah. They were very attractive men, so I didn't complain a lot. Yeah. Even though I was in pain, I didn't complain a lot. Yeah. But they carried me out and put me on a gurney and took me to the hospital. I was having a massive heart attack. Did not know it, so I was put out on major drugs, nitroglycerin and morphine, and I don't know what else, to keep me pretty much knocked out till they could do heart catheterization, find out what all has been damaged, what all has to be fixed, and go on from there. And I remember them coming in to tell me that I needed to have, I don't remember the first 2 weeks I was in the hospital. And they told me at the beginning of that, and I don't remember any of it, that I needed a quadruple bypass.
Sure.
And I went, no, I'm not doing it. Is what I said. My girlfriends are all sitting there like, what? You're not doing it? Yes, you are. This is what you're going to do. One of my friends said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to sign it. You can change your mind later, but you're going to sign it right now. Because I said, I don't want to sign it. You're going to sign it right now. Yeah. So she's, okay. But I did not want to go through cutting open my chest, taking out my heart, fixing going through that, and then trying to recover from that.
Yeah.
What happens to my kidney?
Yeah.
Do I get a kidney now? I probably will never get a kidney. I didn't know any of that. And I had no computer, no way I could go check, nobody to call.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? No, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it. Well, I didn't know what I was doing. Had the surgery, and I woke up, and my hands are tied to the side of the bed. I'm in ICU because you're full of all these tubes.
Correct.
And they don't want you pulling them out when you wake up.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to talk, And my daughter had called my son up, and they're standing right there over me because the doctor says, we're not sure she's going to make it through this or not. We're just not sure because it's so bad.
Yeah.
And when I woke up, I'm trying to talk, and I can't talk. I can't write because my arms are too far away.
That's right.
I can't even move my fingers. I'm so weak, I can't do anything. And finally, I just start doing this. They had no idea what I said. My mother came through me because she was Italian, and this was, forget about it. Just forget about it. This is all she used to say. So that's what I was doing, unrealized. I did not realize any of that was going on because the next day I had a ventilator tube in my throat and did not know it. And so the next day when they'd taken it out, then my family came and they said, what was this? What were you doing? I said, I was going, forget about it. I can't talk to you. Forget about it. So, but I remember then not knowing I had a ventilator tube in, laying there going, I don't want this anymore. I want to go. Because I did have an experience with what almost being in heaven or what it felt like.
A near-death experience.
Near death. And that was with my husband. We, one night, I'm digressing, I'll come back to this story. But we were asleep. It was like a week before he passed. And we were asleep at home. He wanted to die at home. And the angels came. An angel, one big angel, massive angel.
And you were
huge
awake.
wings. I was sound asleep. But I saw this angel.
Okay.
And I looked over and I said, what are you here for? And she said, I've come for Ivan. I said, can I go for a little while? I'll just ride along for a while. She goes, okay, you can come along. So I went. And we're holding hands and we're going up through the house, watching the house move away and moving up, seeing the neighborhood and seeing the city and moving away and seeing the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty soon we're way, way up in the stars.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling a jubilation beyond belief. The joy, it's like the whole weight of the world was removed from my shoulders. It was just amazing. And I could see a light off in the distance, and we were headed there. And all of a sudden the angel goes, guess what? We're going back. It's not time yet. I went, oh, I don't want to go back. This is pretty awesome. And that's how I felt about it. To this day, it's like it just happened.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to feel when I couldn't talk, when I was just coming awake and I was still under. I said, I don't want this anymore. I know, I want to go. I want to go.
So you have a foretaste of that.
Oh, yes, that joy. Just imagine the elation you have of having nothing on your shoulders. Everything is removed. It's gone.
Yeah.
And you're just flowing with this glorious joy, and your heart is everywhere. You're just radiating it. You're just so happy. You can't be happier. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. And that's what I wanted to feel. I was tired of all this heaviness and the kidney issue and the health issues, and now I got a heart thing, and I didn't know what I was going to have to go through with that. I had not come awake yet to figure out all of what that was. Anyway, to make a long story short, there was my husband again, leaning against the wall, and my two fur babies that had passed on and went over the Rainbow Bridge. They were running around the floor in that ICU room, having a ball. They were just playing and having the best time, and I'm watching them. And I look over and see Ivan, and I'm talking to him, and I said, what are you doing here? And he says, well, I just came down to check on you. What are you doing? You doing okay? I said, no, I want to come with you and the boys. I'm going to come up there. I'm ready to come up there. He says, no, you're not ready. You got too much to do. You told me that before, is my response. And he's going, I'm still saying it again, you're not done. You've got to do something. You're put here for a reason. Okay, just do it. Just take care of it. You'll get your kidney. Don't worry. That's all I knew. So I woke up, came through it.
That gave you a lot of strength.
Oh, with that knowledge, I could go through recovery from quadruple bypass, and
Wow.
it's not anything anybody wants to ever experience. If
And
you
how
don't
long
have
after
to.
that was your kidney transplant?
10 months.
10 months. Wow.
The doctors were floored what I did because I came through within 2 weeks. I was up and walking. I may have had a walker. I was up and walking, and with that walker up and down the hallways of the ICU, and I was in there a month, and we were going to send you home. I said,
Yeah.
awesome. But I was doing dialysis in there because I had to. My blood wasn't getting cleaned. My kidneys weren't doing it. So there's another funny story that I like to tell. Dialysis day came, and I had to go to the dialysis center to get hooked up.
Yeah.
So you spend 3 hours there. You go through the treatment. And I, too weak afterwards, blood pressure had dropped, and I'm very, very weak. And so I have to go out to the car in a wheelchair. Very demoralizing to me. I should be able to walk out. I'm not that old, I should be able to.
But the
But I couldn't.
experience in the hospital of your
It was-
husband carried you through
Oh,
that.
yeah. He did, most definitely. And so I get in the wheelchair. They help me in the car. Nobody at any time thought about getting out of that car and getting in this house. Front porch has steps, back porch has steps,
Wow.
and they're taller steps
Yeah.
than normal. Didn't know what I was going to do. We get here. My stepdaughter gets me in the wheelchair, gets me to the gates. How am I going to get up those steps? I can't walk them. And I have no strength in my arms to push up because the dialysis is so debilitating.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing, and I said, no, I can't do it. I said, well, let me sit. So I sat for about a half an hour. Let me get some strength up. Worked on it. Tried to stand and fell flat on my behind, right on the ground.
Yeah.
I said, okay, you can't lift me. There's no way, I'm dead weight.
Yeah.
Call the fire department, get some firemen over here to help get me in the house. And these 4 really gorgeous young firemen showed up, and it was delightful to have them carry me in, and they put me on the stool down there. And I thought that was fine. I said, gentlemen, thank you so much. And they're going, anytime. I'm going, okay, maybe I can fall down again. I'm kidding. But it was wonderful that there's been so much positive response in my darkest hours when I'm thinking, what can I do? I'm stuck here. I can't, you think about it. You're stuck on the ground, no way to get up.
Yeah.
How do you get up? What do you do? Who do you call? I had no idea. So things just fell into place.
Correct.
Just amazing. So I went through rehab, everything I went through, and then turn around and get a call. They have checked us. I had to go prove my heart was strong enough for the surgery
Okay.
because they were worried about that. So I had to see a cardiologist at Shands, and this is another funny story. He comes in the door. He looks like Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
Now, for those that may not know who Doogie Howser is, he's about a 14-year-old kid that played a doctor on a TV program, just a brilliant mind.
Yeah.
So I'm looking, I said, does your mother know you're dressing up and acting like a doctor today? And he goes, she knows I'm here. And okay, he was very offended. I didn't mean it to be that way. So he put me through a battery of tests and said, I'm not real happy with this, but your heart's strong and you're doing well. I'd rather wait another year. I said, oh, no, not another year. I've been 4 years now waiting for this kidney. Do not take this away from me. No, we're doing this kidney. And he goes, I have a donor. I don't want to lose her. Something could happen to her. She could get cancer. Something could happen. I'm just terrified. He said, okay, I'll take it to the other doctors that are on the council. We'll review it, and then we'll send our opinion to the transplant team. So I get the call. We have a date for you. You're going to get a transplant.
So that was a big yes from them.
Oh, yes. Was a yes. I cried. It's going to happen. I called my donor. She's right here in town. She's now 50. She was 49 then. And told her, I said, did you get the call? She said, yes, I did. Right. I got it. I said, what, are you okay? Are you still okay with this? She said, oh, yeah, I'm ready. I'm packed and I'm ready to go.
Right.
said, okay, so we got everything all lined up, and we met the night before in Gainesville, had dinner together, and I met with her husband and visited with her. I did not know this. She was 49 years old, has 4 children, and at no time has she ever had any surgeries. This was her very first surgery ever. And that was to give me a kidney. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So anyway, we went in together. We met at the hospital together. We went into the into the prep room.
Yeah.
And together, and she went one place and I went another. And pretty soon I see her being wheeled down the hall. They're taking her in, getting her prepped. And then I went shortly in thereafter and woke up and I had a kidney. I couldn't sleep for anything. I was watching the fluid come out and into the bag, the Foley bag on the side, and the nurses would come every hour to check and said, "You're doing great. Your kidney worked immediately upon being connected." And so all I could do was lay there and cry. It worked.
Yeah.
It's working. I have a kidney. It's working. I'm normal.
Yeah.
I'm back to normal. So all I could do. My daughter showed up a little few hours later to check on me, and I said, I'm standing, just laying there in the bed crying. I said, I can't believe it. I just cannot believe that this has finally happened.
Yeah.
And it has. And it's been fabulous.
And your health is in good shape.
Very good. Excellent. I got a clean bill of health last week. I was in for a checkup and said, you can go do what you want.
Yeah.
We're not restricting you on anything.
What is your big takeaway the last 10 years? If you look back, what is the one thing that stand out for you, what you've learned?
Patience, perseverance. You got to hang in there. You have to fight for anything you want. So the big takeaway is that God sent me on a mission. That mission is now to talk to people about kidney disease and to talk about what you got to do if you want a kidney transplant or what it will cost you. So.
And I'm so amazed. Before we had started the podcast, you told me that you want to start a podcast about kidney, and that's amazing. You know, you don't give up. You want to serve.
I do.
Yeah.
There's my girlfriend and I do a thing on Facebook called Gutsy Old Broads, and we bring people on to have conversations for anything that affects women over 55.
Yeah.
And we've had different guests on. And our big thing is we were asked to go to the Destin Women's Club for a luncheon to be speakers there, to talk about our entrepreneurships, the different things we're doing, the things we do together, the things we do separately. And so we were there talking about those, and my partner said, oh, you people, you ladies just don't know that Kathy's getting ready to go in for a kidney transplant. She has chronic kidney disease. And they're all like looking at each other. We didn't have any idea what that meant, but we just kept going. And finally we said, anybody have any questions? And about 80% of the room's hands went up.
Yeah.
And the questions were about kidney disease.
So people not informed.
They're never informed. The doctors don't tell them anything. They didn't tell me anything. They just got kidney disease.
So now,
what does that mean?
So you are now on a mission through your podcast. That's great. Kathy.
Yep, the
That's
podcast
great.
is going to be my way. I have a book. I'm in the middle of writing about it as well, that people can read about it, and then I'll give numbers of where they can call, get more information. Everything I found out besides going through it personally was also, I researched it through the Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic. I went to every hospital I could find and find out more information on different things, different diets. There's a guy in Australia, a doctor whose mother got chronic kidney disease, did not want to go on dialysis. He created the whole kidney diet just for her.
Great.
So it's a huge thing to look at him. So here's a classic example of how prevalent this is.
Yeah. 4
years ago, when I went on dialysis, 50,000 people were on that waiting list.
50,000.
50,000.
In the United States.
In the United States. What do you think it is today? 4 years later.
80,000.
100,000.
100,000.
It doubled in 4 years.
So it's a crisis.
It's not just here. It's everywhere. Every human being, you have it. Everybody you know has chronic kidney disease. You just don't know at what level.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, the older we get, our kidneys work like dogs. We don't pay attention. When we learn it in grade school about your organs, oh yeah, it cleans your blood. That's what it does. So that's what it's supposed to do. The older you get, the more, and the worse foods you eat, the more damage you cause.
Yeah.
You don't realize it. You're invincible when you're young. Well, when you get a little older, and all the baby boomers are getting older now, we're all there, and it's all costing us problems. And those problems will probably first show up either in the heart or in the kidneys.
Great. Kathy, shortly before we close, you're writing a book now, but you wrote other books as well. Can you just share a little bit?
I have one that's published.
Do you have one?
I happen to have one.
Wonderful. Let me see that.
Sitting
please.
right here.
And the name of that book is?
It's book one of a series of 5 books, and this one is called The Sisterhood, The Story of Bella.
The Story of Bella.
And the second book will be Eleanor's story, and I'm almost finished with that one. It'll be out probably in April. And then the next one will be the story of Luna or Evie, and then Luna's the last. And then the 5th book is a book that ties it all together. It's a little mystery thriller. You're not sure what happens. Why did that happen? Who is this guy that's showing up? What does this mean?
Yeah.
And the 5th book will tell you exactly all those questions you've had.
So we will have a link to, is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon, and it's also on Books A Million on their online site.
Okay. We will get those links, and we
Okay.
will put it down below our video so people can
Oh,
just
that would be wonderful.
click,
Thank you.
and then they will go
Yeah.
to Amazon. So we would like people to purchase this.
Oh, and
book.
if they like it, please leave me 5 stars.
yeah, they need to comment. Yeah, Kathy, this was fascinating. Your resilience, knowing that God was there for you and still is, and your friends, encourage you. You cannot do this alone. And I would like to say a quick prayer, if you don't
Oh,
mind.
most certainly. I would love it.
Yeah,
I would
let's
love
pray.
it.
God, we give you all the glory because we become actually stories of you. We thank you, Lord, for the story of Kathy that is still unfolding. Thank you, Lord, that this is a story of hope, because hope gives us a tomorrow, and when we have a tomorrow, we have a today. I pray, Lord, that you will bless her, that you will keep her safe, bless her family, and keep your face shine upon her. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Kathy, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks
It's
for having
wonderful.
me.
You're
I loved
welcome.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
For more information about the Bible GPS, please visit our website at thebiblegps.com. Please subscribe to our channel, share the video, like it, and leave us a comment. You can also support our ministry by donating. All the information is in our website. Thank you and God bless.